Hi, my name is Morgan Edmondson, if you need the last name for that. I have to talk for 5 minutes about the dialogue that I did, so this is kind of weird talking to a camera, but screw it. I did the socio-economic dialogue, and I guess we were just supposed to talk about what impact it had on us. I don't know. It was kind of didn't really change my opinion about people's view about socioeconomic classes. I mean, most of the kids, including me, grew up in most likely middle class to upper middle class homes in the suburbs, so we're not used to people growing up, or we're not used to people in lower class, or I'm not really used to people in the upper class. Actually, sort of I am. But, I mean, I grew up with parents that used to be lower class, and they worked their asses off to earn what they had today, so they kind of instilled those principles into me. So, when I was an early kid, they pretty much nailed in my head that I had to work for my money. I It's kind of weird because I went to a private high school, and I am pretty sure freshman year I was the only kid in my school with a job. Um, I mean, I would just go to my parents like, "Hey, can I get some money?" They're like, "Okay, find a job." And so I'm used to working for what I have. Except for now, I'm in college trying to make it as a student, and I have my parents supporting me. Um, but I've had to work really hard to get to where I am right now. Um, Actually, last year, I'm a transfer student. I was at KSU. I mean, I worked hard to get a scholarship to um, pay for my college. Um, but I'm currently on student loans, so we'll see how that turns out. I'll probably be a student in debt after I get out. Um, but I mean, I in the dialogue I saw was expected people had a negative view of the lower class. Um, I mean, that's typical to be kind of critical of something you are not familiar with. I mean, we were critical of the upper class and the lower class. And that's typical. I mean, it's nothing new. I feel like if you are used to something and understand it, then you will not criticize it. But if it's weird and uncomfortable for you, you're gonna probably most likely judge it. Um, but I think the point of the dialogue was to like show us not to judge or not to be critical of the other classes. And I seriously doubt a 2-hour dialogue would convince me to stop being critical of other classes. But I do have respect for the lower class, considering where my parents came from and other relatives who don't exactly live in the middle class. I mean, like I said, I come from a working class family. Well, yeah, working class background, so we're not really exactly, how can I say this? I guess we're like a middle class family with like working class principles. Um, but I mean, I saw what I expected. I'm not sure what else to say. Uh, I seriously think half the kids that people that went there didn't really change their opinions. I mean, the activity, what we thought of other classes, and I mean, it's what you would think. Um, I mean, we don't see the lower class as working hard individuals. We most of us see them as like outcasts and drug addicts and all that. I mean, and that's just really critical. And I mean, I don't think that's gonna change. I really don't. I mean, unless you've been there, you can't understand what it's like. And I think that's what adds to the criticism. I mean, I'm not sure if the point of the dialogue was to like influence or make an impact, and if it was, it might need work because it probably did not have an impact on me personally. It may have on some other kids, it may have, but I mean, I'm sure we just spent 2 hours of our life and just kept on going, like, boom, had to do it, required. I mean, it's hard for somebody to get something out of get something out of a dialogue that they're required to go to. But I mean, hopefully someone benefited from it and they changed their opinion, but I highly doubt it. Sorry being so cynical, but it's kind of the truth. Being blunt, brutally honest. But I mean, I gave it a chance, and I kind of got what I expected. So I wasn't really impacted. Didn't change my opinion of how people judge other classes and stuff. I mean, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the upper class going to a private school with mostly upper class kids. I only went to that school because my parents thought private schools had better education, and they did. So, I mean, they worked hard to put me through that. But I was in school with kids that pretty much had everything given to them. I mean, it was tough. It was weird. Like I said, I was probably the only kid in my class with a job, or the minority of kids in my class with a job. I didn't get an allowance. I made what I got, so I had to pay for a lot of things that most kids that I encountered did not have to pay for. And it's weird. It's just like kind of jades me to them. I'm like, I feel like I benefited from working rather than just sitting on my ass and getting money to do nothing. I mean, I actually had to do something for my money. Besides their parents handing them $100 bill and say, "Here you go, have fun." I mean, I wish my parents did that. That would be awesome, but that's not the case. I had to work for what I have, and what I had, and I was poor, personally poor. Well, I had my parents to feed me, but when it came to going and hanging out with friends and trying to do fun things, moneyless, so I didn't get to do these fun, exciting, costly things that they got to do. But hey, I mean, we all grow up differently, and I feel like I benefit because I have like a work ethic now, and I'm not as lazy. I'm putting this out there. I'm just not as lazy as other kids. I don't expect things to come to me, even though I wish they would sometimes, but they don't. I just I know I have to go out there and get what I want. So yeah, that's pretty much my take. I think I've talked long enough, but hopefully, I actually wonder if somebody will actually watch this, but maybe not. But alright, peace out.